biggest challenges that we as Christians face is having the ability to look at dire situations in a positive light. We have a problem with trying to find joy, as the scripture tells us, in sorrowful situations, in discouragement, in disappointment. We have problems with trying to find any kind of silver lining in something so dim and so drear in our lives. And in fact, this is what James is telling us that we as believers ought to do. And in fact, it's actually the opposite of what we feel, what the world system subscribes as to how we ought to operate. If there's pain in our lives, we ought to feel bad about it. We ought to feel sorrowful about it. If we have a loss, we ought to suffer that loss. We ought to not walk around smiling about it, not walk around being joyous about it, but we're actually to react to what that feeling is, or what that event or that situation gives us or presents to us. And that's automatic to do that, because we as humans, we have our emotions, we have our feelings that are in play, that are involved. But James is telling us that he's not saying that you're not going to feel the effects of what you go through. But what he is telling us to do is we've got to look at it from a different perspective as to why we're going through what we're going through. See, that's why he says to count it all joy. And I want you to understand this and get this as I'm here, because the topic of this is I'm here for it. Meaning that for whatever it is, I've looked up that term, and I know our young people use that term a lot. I'm here for it. I'm here for things of that nature. But I wanted to use this as a topic today to understand, or to get us to understand, the positive way we ought to approach problems or trouble that exists or that comes in our lives. Being here for it means that I'm ready, I'm prepared. And it's hard when I say prepared, meaning to go through, because we necessarily won't be prepared for it from the onset, but we're prepared enough to be able to exist and last through it, if you understand what I'm saying. That's why when you say you're prepared for it, trouble can't be trouble. If you're prepared for it, then that's not trouble at all, if I'm already ready for it. But I'm ready to go through the process it takes to get what that trouble or that problem will produce in me. This is what James is saying. We've got to look at it from its right and proper perspective. Count it all joy that you're being challenged. Count it all joy that you're being pressured, you're being troubled, because of what it's going to do in your life when you come through it. Once you come through it, when it's all over, when it's all said and done, look at the person that you've become having gone through it. Watch this. I'm going to give you a couple of points and I'm out of your way for this morning. When he says count it all joy, basically what he's saying, number one is I need you to renew your mind. Yes, renew your mind. Tell yourself, I got to renew my mind. If I'm going to be able to count my problems or the existence of problems in my life as joy, I've got to first of all renew my mind. Meaning, watch this, and this is how you do that. You confess what you believe, not what you feel. You hear me on that? Confess what you believe. Confess what you see your outcome to be, rather than what you're feeling right now. Because if you confess what you feel, that's just going to continue to add and heap up more negativity, because you're not feeling all that good, to be honest with you, right? When you're going through, you're not feeling great. You're not feeling good. But what happens is I subscribe to the fact that what's in your mouth is in your future. Confess what you believe. I believe that this pain is not going to be everlasting. I believe that this situation is going to subside soon. I believe that joy will find its way back to my doorstep. I believe that happiness is for me. I believe that right relationship is for me. I believe that joy is for me. Come on, you've got to confess what you believe. Come on, not what you feel. It's too easy to confess what you feel because it's right there on you. You're feeling it. It's right there. You're feeling it. But if I can speak in the area of faith, right now in somebody's life, the area of faith, whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever it is that you're going through right now, right this moment, I dare you to speak something positive over it. I dare you to speak what you believe over it. I am not the tail. I will be the head. Come on in here, somebody. My sickness is not unto death. Let's begin to speak those things into existence. What we want, what we believe, what we feel, what God has shown himself to be faithful in. He's come through for us so many times before. Speak what you believe. Confess what you believe. I believe I will get through this. I believe I will get over this. I believe I will be better after this. Y'all got me wired up already. You got to confess what you believe, not what you feel. That's how you renew your mind. Because it's too easy for your mind to drift to what you're going through, to the negativity that's existing in your life at the time. You've got to put something positive there. Replace that. Replace those thoughts. Replace those negative ideas and those negative things that are there that are trying to clutter your mind. Replace it with positivity. Replace it with what you believe. Huh? Replace it with that. Watch this. Renew your mind. Second thing I need you to do, because that deals with the joy of it. That deals with the joy of it. Which means that's why it's strange to some people that know you're going through, but you're walking around with a smile on your face as if nothing is going on in your life at all. Because I've got joy to know what I believe. Come on in here. I got joy to know that I believe, and what I believe is going to come to pass. My God, help me in here. Second thing I need you to understand, watch this, it deals with the knowledge part of it. If you say, I'm here for it, I'm here for it, I'm here for whatever challenges come my way, whether it be of God or of the enemy. Because God tests us as well. Come on, but the enemy challenges us to trip us up. God tests us to develop us, to raise us up. The second thing you got to do, watch this, you got to refresh your memory. What you feed your mind with becomes your mindset. I need you to get that. What you feed your mind with, that in turn becomes your mindset. What are you saying to yourself? Because sometimes you can look at people and you can pretty much determine the personal conversations they're having with themselves just simply based off of how their life is going, how they live their life, their attitude, the way they speak. You ever come across somebody that just seems to not have anything positive to say at all? Not only about themselves, but about anybody. It's just always doom and gloom. It's always woe is me. They always seem to be looking for a pity party. Always seem to be looking for, they have this needy-like type of behavior. Because they're feeding their minds with negativity. They're feeding their minds with, watch this, I tell people all the time, I don't live my life in apprehension. I live my life in anticipation. That's what you got to do. Because if I live my life in apprehension, that means I'm walking around fearful of any and everything. So I'm trying to protect myself from being hurt. I'm trying to protect myself from being wounded. I'm trying to duck and dodge all of this and that. But I live my life in anticipation. I live my life in the expectation of good coming my way, not just bad. I expect good things to happen to me. I expect good things to come my way. Watch this. Even when I know I'm not at my best. Even when I know I'm not doing the best that I'm supposed to do. I'm not doing what God even commanded me to do at times, but I still walk around anticipating good to come my way. Because that's what I feed my mind. Because if I'm all around in negativity, then I'm going to be a negative person. If I'm all around in negativity and woe is me, I'm not going to be pleasant around anybody. I'm not going to be of any assistance or help to anybody, especially the body of Christ. And it's not faking it. I know they say fake it till you make it up. No, it's not faking it. It's having that, first of all, belief, like we said in the beginning, and then feeding that belief into your mind to where it becomes your mindset. To where when you talk to me, you leave feeling better after having a conversation with me. Because I'm not about bringing down. I'm about building up. And I know how to build up as far as even in speaking of that situation that's trying to tear you down. I know how to speak positively about it. I know how to look at it positively in my own life. I realize it might be designed from the enemy to tear me down, but I'm going to put a spin on that thing. Every now and then you got to put a spin on what the devil tries to throw in your life. Put a spin on that thing. You got the power to do so and the authority to do so. Put a spin on it. Because see, you cannot behave like the enemy expects you to behave when he throws something your way. Watch, when he throws a curveball your way, he's expecting you to do this. He's expecting you to do that. He's expecting you to dodge this. He's expecting you to do it this way or that way. But when you do the opposite of what the enemy expects you to do, it throws them off. It confuses them. Because now they're looking like, wow, before a year ago, that would have wiped him or her out. A year ago, she'd have been crying her eyes out about this situation in her life. But now she just brushed it off. Come on in here, somebody. And it's all about what you feed your mind. What you feed your mind becomes your mindset. Third, I want to hurry me get out of your way. Renewing my mind deals with the joy of this situation. Refreshing my memory, remembering all the things that God has done for me, remembering all the things that he's brought me through, remembering all the things that I've come through, remembering where I once was and where I am now. I can look at myself and see the progress that I have made. Come on in here, somebody. We've made some progress in our lives. Yes, we have. We've progressed from where we once were to where we are now. Not saying that we're where we ought to be, but we've come a long way. Come on, we've come a long way. You can look back over your life and see that, man. Oh, man, before, if this would have came my way, if this would have happened to me, if this person would have said this to me, or this joker would have did this to me, I'd have been locked up. Come on in here. Let's be real in here. So we've come a long way. We got a long way to go, but we've come a long way. Come on, you got to tell yourself that. What you feed your mind, it becomes your mindset. And the third thing deals with patience. Watch this. You got to review the mission. My God, I like that. You got to review the mission. If I'm going to be able to count it all joy and say I'm here for it, I got to renew my mind. I got to refresh my memory. But then I got to review the mission. Once I refresh my memory, now it's time for review. And what's the mission? The mission is to permit what's happening to happen. That's the mission. The mission is to permit what's happening to happen. You've got to give permission to your problem. You've got to allow it to happen. And this is how you do that. Watch this. Let me show you what to do. When you're reviewing the mission, you got to permit what's happening to happen. This is the mission. Second thing you got to do is recognize its intent. You got to recognize its intent. Well, what is the intent of the mission? What is the intent of the mission? Well, it's to renew my mind. It's to refresh my memory. Watch this. So if I'm permitting what is happening to happen, then when I'm recognizing its intent, that must mean it's trying to develop something good or greater inside of me. That's why I'm allowing it to happen. I'm not going to give permission to something that's going to make me worse than when I started. I'm not going to give permission to the pain, to the process or the process of the problems if I'm not going to come out better on the other end. No, I'm going to block that thing. Come on in here. I'm doing my best to resist it. Because it's not making me any better. But when I know I'll be better for it, that means I'm recognizing its intent. That means it's going to be for my good when I come out on the other end. Watch this. You've got to acknowledge it's for your good. There it is right there. And I need you to get this because this comes in it's an acrimonial form. Watch this. Because first of all, I permit what's happening to happen. That's P. Come on in here. I got to recognize this intent. That's R. I got to acknowledge that it's for my good. It's for my good. That's A. I got to acknowledge it's for my good. It might not feel good, but it's for my good. It may be hurting me right now, but it's for my good. It may be paining me right now, but it's for my good. And if it's for my good, it's for the good of others as well. Because it's going to benefit others when you good. Come on, aren't you a benefit? Aren't you a prize? You a gem to be around when you just good, when life is good with you? Huh? Aren't you? When everything is good in your life, and when I say good, that don't mean everything is perfect, but you've got a grip on how to handle everything. You're a gem to be around. People love being around you, dealing with you, talking with you, doing business with you, praying with you, worshiping with you, fellowshipping with you. The problem that I'm dealing with is for my good. So I got to permit it to happen. I got to allow it to exist. Because I'm going to be better on the other end. So that's PRA. I got to permit it. I got to recognize it. I got to acknowledge it. And then the last thing I got to do, I got to yield not. Yield not. Tell yourself, yield not. That's why. Yield not. Meaning don't give in to what's expected. Don't slow down for it. Don't give in to what the enemy expects you to do. They'll offer you a way out. Don't give in to that easy way out. Because if you give in to the easy way out, then what happens is you abort what's trying to be purposed and birthed in your life from the pain, from the problem. You abort all of that. You abort your mission. If you yield into going and taking the easy road out, it's some pain you've just got to take. And I'm sorry to say it, but you've got to go through it. For you to be a better you, is some stuff that just has to happen to you. I learned that a long time ago. It's some stuff, friend, that you've just got to go through. That you trying to look at it like, why is all of this going on in my life? It had to happen to you to get you to the place to where you are right now, to get you to the mindset of how you think, how you operate, how you function, the perspectives that you have right now. It had to happen to you, because had it not happened to you, had you yielded to the easy way out, you would not be the person that you are right now. And I like me. I like me. I'm not perfect by any means, but I like me. I like where I am right now. I'm still striving to be better and do better, but I'm content with the process and my progress. You got to tell yourself that. I like me. I might not be the best looking, the best dressing, the best acting, the best speaking, the best, none of this all the stuff, but I'm the best me that I could possibly be. And can't nobody beat me being me, even on my worst day. So when you look at an acronym, I'm getting ready to close this out. When you look at that acronym, we said I'm here for it. The one thing you got to understand, you got to permit what's happening to happen, recognize its intent, acknowledge it's for your good, and yield not. That's PARY. And that's the most important thing that you got to do. You got to pray. My God. You got to pray. From its onset, you've got to communicate with the Father and recognize where this problem is coming from. God, is this from you or is this from the enemy? Because if it's from you, I need to know how to deal with it. If it's from the enemy, I need to know how to deal with it. Because it will shape my perspective of what I'm going through when I know where it's coming from. I'm still going to go through it. But I'm going to be human about it. If it's coming from the enemy, it's going to evoke laughter from me. Because you tried me, devil. You tried me. You really tried me. But even though you're trying me, I know at the end, it's still going to work out for my good. If it's coming from God, I take a more introspective look at it. Okay, God, what is it that you're trying to develop into my life? What am I lacking in? What am I missing? Because you don't ever do anything amiss. Everything with God is intentful. You got to understand that it's purposeful. For our good, for our benefit. So God, search me as I search myself. Because apparently this situation is existing from you in my life because there's something that you're either trying to work in or out of me. You're either trying to build something up or tear something down. So it's just all about your perspective. From the enemy, from God himself. But either way, you're going to come through it. Either way, you're going to come through it. But you got to be here for it. You got to be here for it. And what happens with that? The last thing I want to talk to you about, you've got to realize the motive. You've got to realize the motive. That deals with wholeness. Renew your mind deals with joy. Refresh your memory deals with the knowledge of stuff. Reviewing the mission means you got to have the patience. And realizing the motive, that deals with you being whole, your wholeness. What is the motive? The motive is, watch this, production. Say that with me. The motive is production. God is trying to produce something in my life. What is he trying to produce? And I'll let you go. Watch this. First of all, a witness. God wants to produce a witness. See, when you go through that stuff that you go through, you got to testify. You got to tell somebody, I made it over. I think of a song we used to sing back in the day. When I look back over my life and think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed. I got a testimony. Come on in here, somebody. We used to jam that song. He's trying to create a witness in you to where, watch this, because a lot of times, even in this teaching right now, some of you will get it and some of you will receive it very well. But then I also realize on the other hand, some folk receive so much more from just somebody testifying about their life, what they've been through. But not only will it produce a witness in you, but then it'll produce other witnesses. Because folk will see what you've gone through and been through and see how you're operating, how you're upright, how you're still smiling, how you're still doing the things of God. Come on in here, somebody. That thing didn't wipe you out. It didn't tear you down. It didn't beleaguer you to the point to where you didn't even want to function or couldn't function, that you walled yourself up into a corner and just, no, you came through that thing shining. You came through that thing standing tall. Folk witness that, because folk know what you go through sometimes. They look from afar. They might not know as far as precisely what it is, but folk talk. Come on, let people talk about folk. Come on, talk about folk business. That's why you got to be careful when you do go through, because folk are watching you. And they're going to watch how you go through this, because you've been telling them that you saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, fire baptized. No matter what comes your way, you stand strong. Come on in here, somebody. So when you go through, you can't be down here, woe is me, and crying and all this other stuff. No, because they're looking. They say, wait a minute, where was all that talk that you used to talk when things were good? You know what Job said? We can't just accept the good from God and not the bad as well. Come on in here. So you got to realize the motive is to produce not only a witness in you, but also to produce a worker. Because we need workers. God needs workers. Come on in here. It's going to produce a worker in you. That mentality that I've got to get busy. I got to be about my Father's business. Come on. Huh? There's more that I can do. I may be doing some things good and doing them well, but there's more that I can do. It creates a worker. I can't be idle. I've got to be doing something. I have to busy myself with my family, with my career, with my own personal goals. It produces a worker. It produces a witness. It produces a worker, but it also produces a worshiper. My God, help me in here. And that's what God wants. He wants people that will worship Him in spirit and in truth, in their truth. In their truth. You need to worship God in your truth. The truth about you, yourself. It's not necessarily talking about an in general truth, so to speak. It's talking about your truth. What is your truth as to why you worship God the way you worship God? You know what you've been through. You know what He's brought you through. You know what you've come through. You know what He's shielded from other people. Come on in here, somebody. You know how He's hidden you when the enemy was on your track, on your trail, about to wipe you out, but you couldn't deal with it. You couldn't face it, so God just had to hide you. Come on in here. God, I love God for that. Every now and then, that's one of my favorite songs. He just hides us. Because He knows we can't deal with some stuff sometimes. So He hides us, then He works on us, and then He brings us out when we're strong enough to handle the situation. And we conquer. My God, my God. So we realize the mission, the motive. Production is the motive. That's why we can say we're here for. When you say that, you know that you're saying that with God being in control of everything, of all things. That's why you can say that boldly, because of the God that you serve, that we serve. He's in control of this stuff. Come on in here. So we can say that. We're in His hands. That's right. We're in His hands. It's just like when He says, when Jeremiah went to the potter's house, as the clay is in the potter's hands, so are ye in my hands, O Israel. That's what God was telling him. Look, you're in my hands. That's why I can be bold enough to say, I'm here for it, because I'm in God's hands. Come on in here. Woo! That's why I can say I'm here for it. There's hurt in His hands, but there's also healing is in His hands. Come on. There's going to be some issues there. There's going to be some problems there. There's heaviness in His hands, but it's also help in His hands. It's hardship, but it's also hope in His hands. Can I say it like that? Watch this. It's heartache, but it's also happiness in God's hands. There's even haters there. But there's also a hedge of protection in God's hands. There's havoc, but it's a hiding place in God's hands. That's the same hands that held Jesus from his arrest in the garden to his ascension into heaven. Those same hands. That's why Jesus could say, I'm here for it. Come on in here, somebody. When he faced bad, corrupt judges, when he faced accusers, when he faced betrayal from Peter, denial from Peter, when he faced all these things, he still said, I'm here for it. Because I'm in God's hands. And you can say the same thing. I'm here for it. I'm here for the trials. I'm here for the tribulations. I'm here for the problems. I'm here for the pain. I'm here for it all because I'm in God's hands. And I know as long as I'm in God's hands, everything is going to work out for my good. Because I'm in his hands, so I'm here for it. Shoot your best shot, Satan. I'm here for it. Come on in here, somebody. You got to be bold with that thing. Tell him, I'm here for it. Whatever you got. Whatever you feel that you want to throw my way, I'm here for it. If it's suffering, loss, if it's death, come on, we got to be real in here. Loved ones' pain and suffering, come on. Loss of job, income, all of that. There's been people that have gone through all of that and have thrived, not only survived, but have thrived through it because they knew they were in God's hands. As you go throughout this day, remember, you can be here for it. As long as you know you're in God's hands. God bless you. I'm Pastor Fred, and we've just had a moment.